Back everyone, iOS 15.2 has officially came out, so let's take a look at it on the iPhone 11. Now this update did come to a pretty big sized update. If you want to update to it, go into settings, general, software update up here, and then you will get that toggle here where you can actually officially install iOS 15.2. Now, the first thing being the size of this update. It's a fairly big size update. It definitely wasn't a small one by any means. You can see it was about, 5.6 something gigabytes, 5.49 gigabytes on the iPhone 11, so pretty big one for sure. Now, you can see with the release log here that there was a lot of different things that were added, which I think is actually pretty important. It definitely wasn't a small update by any means. Now, the first thing being pretty much within our settings app, we now have the ability of getting this new app privacy report. Now, what this does is if we go into our settings, click privacy down here, scroll down, click app privacy report, you can see this new option. And what this will do, it'll basically give us a report once we enable it like I just did. It'll basically tell us like, hey, we are having these specific applications use this in the background, and it gives us a glimpse of what apps are using when we're not using them, which is actually really, really interesting. So I'd recommend turning that on, letting it run, kind of see which apps are using what in the background. Now, another big thing is with the messages. So there was this big controversial thing that happened a while ago of, I think the children and parents toggles or whatever. Basically, those are now enabled within iOS 15.2, or at least they're brought up in some form or fashion. So it says new safety features for children and parents and messages. I don't know if they're fully implemented yet, but they will be probably soon. So that's another update. There's also a little digital legacy update as well, which is actually pretty impressive. So this will basically give access to your, certain files and certain photos or whatever that you give access to certain contexts when you actually pass away. So I think it's actually a pretty impressive update. I think it has its place. It's a little morbid, but it's another feature that iOS 15.2 brought. And there were a ton of different bug fixes and tons of different improvements as well within this update too. So overall, to answer the question, should you install iOS 15.2 on your iPhone 11? I will tell you, like I mentioned before, I know the iPhone 11 is a fairly new iPhone, but I would still recommend not installing iOS 15.2. As I mentioned before, you're going to be in a much better situation if you still stick with iOS 14 and then pretty much going from there. But if you're already on iOS 15, I would just recommend going to 15.2, but only if you're on 15. If you're not on 15, then stick with 14.8.1. If you're already on 15.1 or 15.0.1 or whatever, I would recommend installing iOS 15.2 because that's probably going to be the most stable version of software for a little bit. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.